from the power front, where there is respite for Ghana's power sector as the West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, says it has completed the cleaning of its pipelines and has started pumping gas to the Tema enclave. This means some 7 power plants that are shut down due to unavailability of gas from WAPCO are expected to get gas to produce power. The plants were shut down due to an unusual debris at one of WAPCO's compressor stations in Nigeria. That triggered some operational upset at the Tema regulatory and metering station. For more on this, we've been joined via Zoom by the General Manager of Corporate Affairs for WAPCO, Dr. Isaac Ejay Doku. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Has gas indeed started flowing from what we were told yesterday?
Yes, good evening to your cherished listeners. Yes, like I indicated yesterday, we had to do some cleaning at our Tema station. So as at 7 p.m., we started flowing gas from Nigeria, and I believe that around 10 p.m., the plants in Tema started receiving gas.
Okay. So what does that mean for us in terms of availability of power in our homes?
I cannot comment to that. What I can say before coming on air, just checking with our control room. I know that currently, since last night and even at 6:15 this evening, we're flowing about 140 million standard cubic feet of gas to the VRA plant, which actually does the distribution to the power stations in Tema. Now, 140 million standard cubic feet, that could translate to between 500 and 750 megawatt, depending on whether the plants are simple cycle plants or combined cycle plants. So that is the volume leaving our station now. And that means that at least there should be a generation of, if all the plants in Tema, for example, are all simple cycle plants, then that would mean that at least 500 megawatt is being generated. If all the plants are combined cycle, that would mean excess of 750 being generated.
And that could be huge for our power sector in terms of making sure that the lights stay on.
Oh, most definitely. I believe that most definitely 750 megawatt, if they are all combined cycle, that should go a long way to alleviating some of the planned shutdowns that might have happened because there was no gas flow when we experienced the incident. Yes.
Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. But in terms of you, in terms of the overall cleaning, are you done? Because you gave us a schedule of the period within which this cleaning will be done in terms of the entire pipeline from Ghana to Nigeria.
Right, the pipeline, like I said yesterday, runs in total is about over 600 kilometers. About 60 of it is on land in Nigeria. And then the rest from the Lagos beach to Takoradi, that's about 500 and almost 70 kilometers. So what we do is that per regulation to operate the pipeline, every 5 years, you have to clean the pipeline. And so we started the cleaning, and we are doing the onshore bit, which is the bit where our pipeline connects to the Nigeria pipeline network at Itoki to Lagos Beach, which is at Badagry. That's about 60 kilometers. So that is the first bit that we are doing.
Okay.
Later on, next month in January, we'll be going to clean the offshore bit, which is quite lengthy, which is over 500. So that will be from Lagos Beach all the way to Takoradi. So that will be something that will be starting in the latter half of January 2025. So yes, as far as the onshore bit, we've done the cleaning. We still want to do one more cleaning before finally we run what we call the intelligent pick. Intelligent pick stands for pipeline instrumentation gate. So the intelligent pick is an instrument that runs through the pipeline and checks all the interior of the pipeline. And we have to do this just to ensure the integrity of the pipeline so that we can satisfy ourselves that gas is contained and there are no leakages in the pipeline. So the first phase, we've done the cleaning. We want to do cleaning before we send the intelligent pick through the pipeline. because you don't want any death in the pipeline when the intelligent pig is actually going through the pipeline. So that will conclude the Nigerian phase, and then later on in latter half of January 2025, that is when we will start the offshore one, which will run from Lagos Beach all the way to Takoradi.
Okay. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us tonight here on JoyNews Prime. So that's it there for you. It means that your light may stay on. Keep watching out for that. Away from power, let's go into the elections. The National Democratic Congress has called on the Electoral Commission to halt the entire collation process for the remaining constituencies. According to the party, the process lacks legal standing, and proceeding under the current circumstances would only increase the chaos witnessed at the various polling stations, especially the coalition stations that we've witnessed. Now, we'll hear from the party shortly, but here is a wrap of what transpired at the coalition center at Tesano by my colleague Jacqueline and Sumayabwa.
Of results for the Nsawam Adwedri constituency, which resumed at 6 a.m. today, started on a calm note but quickly descended into chaos, while a sudden announcement by the Deputy Director of Elections NIT, Dr. Rashid Tanko, halted the proceedings, triggering a standoff.
Action. So on what basis is he going to say that they say he should continue and the others will stop? Is it not the same thing? We are doing the same thing. It's an emergency IPAC meeting. It must stop. This process must halt. Let's go for the IPAC meeting. Whatever comes out of it, we will come and continue.
You mean for all the other constituencies or just
every process they are doing, and they must halt it?
However, the MPP party executives, led by the General Secretary of the party, Justin Frimpong Kodia, challenged this claim and insisted that there's no such meeting.
Tanko is here. Tanko is here. He is going to IPAC. There is a means whereby they communicate to us when there's going to be IPAC. I'm daring him to prove to us, to give us evidence that IPAC has been called. Ask him. Because normally when there's an IPAC meeting, they once sent us a message by text followed by a formal letter. Let him prove a text showing there's an IPAC meeting. Give us a proof that there's an IPAC meeting.
Ask the director here confirmed that instruction has been given to him that
no one has called him.
Stop the process.
That have you been called? Have you been called? Ask the East officer. Has he been called? No. So how can you come and lie here?
I'm telling you the fact. The fact is, I'm telling General. I'm telling you the fact that there's an emergency IPAC meeting to be held this morning.
When there's an IPAC meeting, they communicate to us.
Then you will find out from this.
MPP, no one has communicated to me.
So the tension escalated when the NDC's Director of Legal Affairs, Eduji Tamaklo, arrived at the scene to disclose that the party had applied for an injunction, arguing that the process could not proceed under such circumstances.
To restrain the Electoral Commission from doing what they are doing. That process has been served on the EC, and this is it.
But have they confirmed receipt of it?
Oh, without doubt. GJ 0275-2025. It was filed at 9:30 early this morning. Anope Philibert Fume versus Frank Anodompre, Electoral Commission of Ghana. So this is it. Who? No, it's not to be. But he's an inferior officer. If I serve them, the court will not even take me serious. I have served the head. No, I have served the head office, and he has to stop. We have brought it to his notice.
But that doesn't affect the three that were declared yesterday.
Which one? No, this one is specific. This is specific.
Specific for the Nsawam.
And this is where we are now. We are within Nsawam now, and this is the process. It doesn't matter. It's a court process. I'm sure somebody like Fenyo Makin will not disagree. You know what he did with the Speaker of Parliament, with injunctions and all of those things. And that is exactly what we have done.
Is this what Ghanaians...
Yes. We have served the Electoral Commission.
Moments later, chaos erupted as the NDC also refused to allow the process to continue, while party members and the EC officials were seen in heated arguments, forcing an abrupt suspension of the process. MPP candidates for Nsawam Adwedri constituency, Frank Anodompre, expressed his frustration.
It's the first time I'm going through such an experience. Tomorrow will be a week since we had elections, and still the results have not been called. It's not good enough. And if you look at happenings between the parties and the EC, one can say that it's a self-inflicted wound, because the CI gives the EC the mandate to give copies of results to the parties. and then the EC has the original copy. Yeah. So if the EC produces the pink sheet, it is reasonably expected that the parties will have copies, which was prior given to the parties. But so if one party says that I don't have a copy, it will not nullify the mandate given to the EC to call the results. Unfortunately, the NDC, that has been their modus operandi.
Meanwhile, the majority leader and the MP for the Efutu constituency, Alexander Afenyomarkin, weighed in and criticized the NDC for what he described as a disruptive approach from the opposition.
That our colleagues on the other side were so uncomfortable with the process. Some artificial delays, some pretenses, and something that was very striking. In the evening, when some of their leaders came here and they were telling us that, oh, their foot soldiers were amassing outside and that we should delay the Nsawoma Dwejiri, I said, why? So if they win, it means that we've won all the 4 and that their foot soldiers will not be happy with them. I said, why? You know, so all of you know that Honorable Anodompe has won and that you are only trying to frustrate him. That is not democracy. And when you talk, they want to threaten you, posting stuff on social media with Standogbe, attacking me here and there. But me, I'm not perturbed. We are not here to fight. MPP, we don't believe in all that chaos and all. They have won the presidency. That is fine. You've won majority seats. That's fine. But the situation where you want to use some, what I will call some Takashi and Patapa to snatch seats that have been won by other constituencies of that MPP has won, that is unacceptable.
The uncertainty surrounding the Nsawam Adreju constituency reflects the heightened tensions. While party agents and election officials await the next steps, the eyes of the nation remain on the constituency, hoping for a resolution that upholds the integrity of the electoral process. Reporting for Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansama Yaboa.
Well, we can now hear from the Deputy Director of Special Duties of the NDC, Broja Jemfi, who says the entire process must be cancelled.
I realize that there's no activity going on currently. We don't know what the plan is because as we speak, the EC officials are still seated here. The police are around. The NPP executives and agents are still around. And we have also been here. It looks like they want to play some kind of a game because after the press conference of the national chairman of the NDC, we expect the EC to respond to it and withdraw this particular illegal exercise and call for an emergency IPAC meeting. We've been here several hours after that press conference and we have not heard anything. And so we want to draw the attention of the people of Ghana that we do not support this exercise in the first place because we have been told by the Electoral Commission and the NPP that elections are won at the polling station. What are we now doing at the police station? Do they want to win at the police station now? This place is a training center for detective officers. And that is why you all see that it is the CID boss who has been in charge of the place. If the Electoral Commission has anything to do, they should call for an IPAC meeting to resolve whatever issues that there is. We are going to continue to be here, even if it will cross to midnight. We will be here, and we won't allow anybody to continue with this illegal exercise.
The MPP also held another press conference on the issue, and my colleague Jacqueline Ansama Yaboa is joining with details. Jacqueline, so what more have they been saying from the MPP side?
Kojobre, so the MPP has firmly denied allegations by the NDC that they are engaging in any form of illegality during the collation process. Well, in response, the MPP clarified that their presence at the collation center is not to intimidate or threaten the police, but it is to ensure that the process is conducted in a transparent and peaceful manner. Let's listen to the MPP.
Some words that we need to correct them. We have with us the CI 127, the law that governs elections in Ghana. We're talking about recollation and how things are illegal or perpetuated here. We all know the reason why we are all here. Elections are conducted, yes, true, and won at the polling station. We do appreciate that they accept the fact that the representation of MPP in the election petition in 2012 has taught them that lesson, that elections are won at the polling stations. That is true. They mention that if the result that is collated here is not in the box, they would not accept, or they would not agree to the fact that these things be done here. Let it put it on record. It is by law. If they go and read CI 127, Regulation 39, 3B, all political parties are given copies of the pink sheet. All political parties are given copies of the pink sheet. What are the reasons for giving political parties the pink sheet? Is it that they knew that today they will be standing here to say what they are saying? That is why they have organized their people to go around and destroy electoral materials, forgetting that copies of these materials are given to political parties per the CI, as I quote. In CI 127, Regulation 39, 3B, very specific. So we stated here, there is no recollation that is being done here. Even our laws doesn't speak about recollation. The only thing that is counted in the law is recount. We are doing a continuous collation where collation was not done properly, where collation were not ended, where collation was done under duress, where collation was done at the behest of the NDC. So we are not condoning with any illegality. If they know, they should go and read the law.
That's the Deputy General Secretary of the MPP, Haruna Mustafa there. But the Electoral Commission has also, Haruna Mohammed there, sorry. Now, the Electoral Commission has also responded or reacted to this development by releasing a statement a short while ago. Let me share with you details of that particular statement. It says, the Electoral Commission wishes to inform the general public that the recollation of presidential and parliamentary elections results, which was ongoing at the Tesano Police Depot, for constituencies whose collation did not follow the legal process as enshrined in CI 127, as well as constituencies where collation on election day could not be completed, have been put on hold until further notice. The inability to collate and declare results on election day, which led to the recollation at the Tesano Police Depot, was due to disruptions of our collation processes by political party supporters on election day and the days following. It is instructive for the public to know that the Commission informed political parties of the change in location to the Tesano Police Training Depot after agreement with the Inspector General of Police and his team. Indeed, all the agents of the political parties observed the process yesterday, which resulted in the collation and declaration of results for the Fantiakwa North, Akwatia, and Suhum constituencies. We urge all stakeholders to collaborate with the Commission as we carry out our mandate. And that's signed by Samuel Tete, Deputy Chairman in charge of operations. So that's coming in from the Electoral Commission there. Let's still stay with the processes or with the election and the aftermath, because all ongoing significant payment, recruitment, and other such activities are now required to be submitted to the Joint Transition Team for consideration on a case-by-case basis. That's according to a statement released by the Mahama Transition Team after the second sitting of the committee on Friday. A statement signed by spokesperson of the Mahama Transition Team, Felix Kwachiofusu, said it was agreed This will bring clarity to the status of these payments and recruitment and offers an amicable structure for addressing the issues involved. The statement said all public officials are therefore strongly encouraged to comply without fail and resist any undue pressures. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
During the first sitting of the committee, the Mahama transition team flagged the planned payment of 240 million Ghana cedis to an entity that had conducted business with the Electricity Company of Ghana. It also raised concerns about some last-minute recruitments. Here is spokesperson for the John Mahama transition team briefing the media on what transpired at the second sitting.
Well, I think it's gone well. As usual, it's been cordial. We have ironed out critical issues. First of all, the scope of the full transition team was laid out today. Beyond the 3 subcommittees that were inaugurated the last time, other committees have been formed on various thematic areas, and they'll be getting to work immediately. They've been populated. Provision has been made for support from technical persons, both on the government side and on the NDC side. So we expect that they will get to work immediately. We have received both hard and soft copies of the handing over notes. So we'll be looking through them in the coming days, and it will inform the work that the various committees do. So it's been quite fruitful, and we hope to get to work immediately to get this over and done with. There's no issue of a budget. We have made it clear that we are not going to burden the states with any amount whatsoever regarding budgets. The most we will need is office space and some support staff, that's all. So there's no issue of a budget.
In a statement released later by the John Mahama transition team, it announced that it has now been agreed by both teams that all ongoing significant payments, recruitment and related activities must now be submitted to the joint transition team for review on a case-by-case basis. Spokesperson for the outgoing government transition team, Fatima Abubakar, has justified the recruitment and payment, saying President Akufo-Addo was given a 4-year mandate and everything is being done in accordance with law.
Because we make it appear as if some of these processes just come out of the blue. It is not every institution who will even have the financial clearance to embark on these recruitments. And I'm saying these are public exercises, and publications on your respective media houses and online portals will reflect the narrative as I am putting it out today, and nothing new. If there is any evidence to the contrary of people being recruited without financial clearance, without due process, let us give specific instances and mention names. Not that because all of a sudden there is a change in government, we need to change the narrative and create some stories to further denigrate and defame some individuals for what they have not done.
While the president-elect John Mahama has raised similar concerns about mass last-minute recruitment and contracts. He made the comments when the British High Commissioner to Ghana, Harriet Thompson, paid a courtesy call on him. The British High Commissioner to Ghana during the visit promised a government will support John Mahama's 120-day social contract with expertise.
Some contracts that some parastatals are trying to sign off at the last minute, that will commit government, the new government, even before it has come into office. And so it's something that we've raised a signal about. And it's my hope that the joint transitional team would take a look at it and deal with it. There are also reports of last-minute mass recruitments into all the agencies, which will be a liability on the new government. And so that's something we've asked them to take up at the transitional team meeting and see how we can deal with those issues.
Now, police have arrested 13 more persons in connection with post-election related incidents. This brings the number of suspects to 123 who are under police investigation. A number of key stakeholders, including President-elect John Mahama, has condemned the attacks on some state institutions and persons. In a statement issued by the police, the said suspect will be facing the law for the offences committed.
The request of the Electoral Commission for maximum security for the collation of the outstanding results from 4 constituencies in the Eastern region. This collation was removed from the original location to the National Police Training School yesterday. and this process has been ongoing since yesterday. We also like to once again inform the public that all the 123 suspects that have been arrested in connection with various acts of lawlessness are being taken through the due process of the law. 4 of the suspects that were arrested yesterday are also being processed accordingly. We wish to assure the good people of Ghana that the police will continue to do our part to ensure there is security, law and order across the country.
Well, spokesperson on gender and social protection on the NDC's manifesto committee, Shamima Muslim, has taken a swipe at Member of Parliament for Efutu, Alexander Afeomakin, for calling the NDC violent. Ms. Afeomakin reacting to the recent vandalism and looting of state properties believed to be perpetrated by the NDC supporters and scaffolds at collation centers, admonished the party to call their members to order. But Shamima Muslim chided the MP for describing the party as violent, cautioning the MPP to shun their arrogant stance and rather support constructive criticism to build the country. She was speaking on our sister station, Love FM, in Kumasi.
Continue to work and stretch an olive branch to the very mini minority in Parliament. My prayer is that there will be a constructive side and there will be cooperative in what we intend to do to build this country. If they insist to still be arrogant and intransigent, as I've heard Afeomakin already start to throw his hands about, you see, it still hasn't sunk in what Ghanaians try to tell them, because the posturing of some of them speaking and criticizing and trying to lay blame. Afeomakin saying, call your violent party to order, call your violent party to other. Who has been more violent? What is more violent than what you have done to the people of Ghana? What is more violent than pushing elderly pensioners to their grave? What is more violent than taking people's life savings? What is more violent than destroying people's businesses and having people who have worked for this country speak on TV, virtually on tears, crying about where you have left them? What is more violent than the violence we have seen in your own constituencies, in your attempts to cling on to power? What is more violent than destroying the economy? What is more violent than the corruption that you have shepherded over? What is more violent than the appropriation of state assets that we have witnessed from your government? Unprecedented. So they must tone down.
Meanwhile, she has touted the president-elect John Mahama's victory and re-election as a gift to celebrate the Christmas festivities.
If you look at the majority that, the NDC has in Parliament, is it going to be a blessing or a curse for Ghanaians?
It has to be a blessing.
It has or it will be?
What I'm saying first, it has to be and it will be. Because that's why I kept telling you that we must learn. Yesterday, when His Excellency-elect John Mahama met the people who were visiting him, the Chief Imam.
The Chief Imam in Central Raja.
Yes. And he assured the Chief Imam that he is not going to abuse that incumbency. And that also are even calling him Supreme Leader. We should discuss. This is the humility of the man. This is the present that Yebronya Achede Nyamediama and John Dramani Mahama. Him as a person we must trust. And then he would ensure the same accountability from the people that he would be working with. He assured the Chief Imam and the people of Ghana that he is not going to abuse that majority. It's an overwhelming majority. 2/3. We can do with as we please, but we are going to do with as we please to the extent that it is in the interest of the people of Ghana, and we are seeking first the protection of the people of Ghana and the development of the people of Ghana.
Now, away from that, the national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, has urged the leader of the New Patriotic Party caucus in Parliament, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, to be cautious with a statement regarding the 2024 general election. Asiedu Nketia criticized Afenyo-Markin for blaming the NDC supporters for the chaotic incident at various collation centers, stating that he had no right to make such accusations. Asiedu Nketia ridiculed the MPP leader, pointing out that despite the party's previous claims of a majority, they had lost several seats in the election. In a public address on December 13, 2024, Asiedu Nketia dismissed Afenyo-Markin's comments on electoral violence, telling him to, quote, shut up, unquote, and warning that he might soon find himself as a, quote, micro-minority leader, unquote, in the next parliament.
I heard my junior brother Afenyo-Markin, who, having rejected the position of minority leader, is now on his way to becoming a micro-minority leader. Bragging that he belongs to a party of rule of law and all that. Who doesn't know about MPP? We in the National Democratic Congress don't need lectures from Afenyo-Markin about democracy at all. Indeed, if there were any need for lectures in impunity, then we will invite him as our lecturer. But if it is about democracy, he must shut up. He should go back to his region and take stock of his parliamentary candidates who have been shooting and killing people, his party people who have been shooting and maiming people across the country.
Well, this is JoyNews Prime. We'll take a break here. I'll be back with more, please. Don't go away. Welcome back from the break. Now, the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, has once again urged Parliament to suspend the Free Senior High School SHS bill when it is presented on Monday. Speaking to the media ahead of the parliamentary sitting, President of NAGRAT, Angel Carbonu, emphasized that the bill in its current form could have negative implications for the education sector. He called for a proper consultation before any further action is taken.
This issue is being touted to be discussed for a while now. We feel that discussion and stakeholder consultation on this bill has been very inadequate. And also looking at the times when an election just took place and a new government is set to be inaugurated on the 7th of January 2025. And also looking at the draft document of the bill, and I'll just mention some of the topical issues to you. When you look at it, we have compulsory secondary education, system of education, right to free compulsory secondary education, responsibility of the minister, responsibility of the Director General, responsibility of the parent, responsibility of regional and district directors, existing examinations, entrance examinations, duty of head of secondary school, denial of admissions, and so on and so forth. You see that it is a very comprehensive document. And when you hear the title, Free Secondary School Education, you think they are just going to talk about the cost of free senior high school. But there are issues in this document that goes far beyond just government providing free senior high school education.
Now, he also expressed concerns over the NDC's proposal to implement free first-year tertiary education. Angel Carbonu questioned the feasibility and long-term sustainability of the policy, highlighting potential challenges it could pose to the quality of education in Ghana.
One of the topical issues discussed in the media for the past 4 years is the situation of education, especially free senior high school education. But unfortunately, that formal forum where we can all sit down and have an in-depth discussion on funding, on whether funding should be for day students or for boarders, whether buffer stock should be distributing food or the school should buy their own food, which is even come to the stage where we are running double track, where teachers are complaining that they are not having rest, where we are having a situation where the children are going to school in such a manner that there is no sanctity with regards to time, and what role parents can play in the education delivery of their children currently. All these things and many more have not been formally discussed with stakeholders.